Chapter 2 Biological Classification. Since the dawn of civilization, there have been many attempts to classify living organisms. It was done instinctively, not using criteria that are scientific but born out of a need to use organisms for our own use, for food, shelter, and clothing. Aristotle was the earliest to attempt a more scientific basis for classification. He used simple morphological characteristics to classify plants into trees, shrubs, and herbs. He also divided animals into two groups, these which had red blood and those that did not. In Linnaeus, the time a two-kingdom system of classification with a Plantae and Animalia kingdom was developed that include all Plantae and animals respectively. This system did not distinguish between the eukaryotes and prokaryotes, unicellular and multicellular organisms, and photosynthetic green algae and non-photosynthetic fungi organisms. Classification of organism into plant and animal was easily done and was easy to understand, but a large number of organisms did not fall into either category. Hence, the two kingdom classification used for a long time was found inadequate. Besides gross morphology, a need was also felt for including other characteristics like cell structure, nature of all, mode of nutrition, habitat, method of reproduction, evolutionary relationship. Classification system for the living organism have hence undergone several changes over the time. Though plant and animal kingdom have been a constant under all different systems, the understanding of what group or organism be included under this kingdom have been changing. The number and nature of other kingdom have also been understood differently by different scientists over that time. R.H. Whittaker 1969 proposed a five-kingdom classification. The kingdom defined by him are named Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. The main criteria for classification used by him including cell structure, body organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction and phylogenetic relationship. 5 चीज़ के बेसिस पर R.H. Whittaker ने क्लासिफिकेशन निकाले. ठीक है, कौन सा 5 चीज है? सेल स्ट्रक्चर, बॉडी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन एंड रिप्रोडक्शन एंड फाइलोजेनेटिक रिलेशनशिप. Table 2.1 gives a comparative account of different characteristic of the five kingdom. फाइव किंगडम के अलग अलग क्या क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है उस चीज़ के बारे में बताया है. ठीक है, आप ऑडियो सुनने के बाद आप एनसीईआरटी बुक निकालिए और इस टेबल को आप अच्छी तरीके से देख लीजिए और उसको अच्छी तरीके से याद कर लीजिए. द 3 डोमेन सिस्टम हैज also been proposed that divided the kingdom Monera into 2 domain, leaving the remaining eukaryotic kingdom in the 3rd domain and thereby a 6 kingdom classification. You will learn about this system in detail in higher classes. Let us look at this 5 kingdom classification to understand the issue and consideration that influence the classification system. Earlier classification system including bacteria, blue-green algae, fungi, mosses, fern, gymnosperm and the angiosperm under Plantae. The character that unified this whole kingdom was that all the organisms including had a cell wall in their cells. This place together group which widely differ in other characteristics. It brought together the prokaryotic bacteria and the blue-green algae, cyanobacteria, with other group which are eukaryotic. It also grouped together the unicellular organism and the multicellular on, say for example, Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra are placed together under algae. The classification did not differentiate between the heterotrophic group fungi and the autotrophic group plant, though they also show a characteristic difference in their walls composition. The fungi had chitin in their walls, while the green plant had a cellulosic cell wall. When such characteristics are considered, the fungi are placed in a separate kingdom fungi. All prokaryotic organisms are grouped together under kingdom Monera and the unicellular eukaryotic are placed in a kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista has brought together Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, earlier placed in algae within plant and both having cell wall. with paramecium and amoeba, which are earlier placed in the animal kingdom which lack a cell wall. It has put together organisms which in earlier classification are placed in different kingdom. This happened because the criteria for classification change. This kind of changes will take place in future too, depending on the improvement in our understanding of characteristic and evolutionary relationship over time. An attempt has been made to evolve a classification system which reflect not only the morphological, physiological and reproductive similarities, but it also phylogenetic is based on evolutionary relationship. In this chapter we will study characteristic of kingdom Monera, Protista, fungi of the Whittaker system of classification. The kingdom Plantae and Animalia, commonly referred to as plant and animal kingdom respectively, will be dealt separately in chapter 3 and 4. Kingdom Monera. Bacteria are the sole member of the kingdom Monera. They are the most abundant microorganism. Bacteria occur almost everywhere. Hundreds of bacteria are present in the handful of soil. They also live in extreme habitats such as hot spring, desert, snow and deep ocean where very few other life form can survive. Many of them live in or on other organisms such as parasite. Bacteria are grouped under the 4 categories based on their shape. The spherical coccus cocci, the rods of bacillus, rod shaped bacillus, plural bacilli, the comma shaped vivrium, plural vivrio, and the spiral spirillum, plural spirilla. तो एनसीईआरटी के अंदर बुक जब निकालोगे तो आपको जो 4 टाइप के बैक्टीरिया होता है, बैक्टीरिया का जो शेप के बेसिस पर जो उसको अलग अलग बैक्टीरिया है शेप के बेसिस पर उसका जो है ना इमेज दिया गया है. सबसे पहले कोकाई का दिया गया है जो स्पेरिकल शेप है, जो रॉड शेप का जो है ना बेसिली का इमेज दिया गया है. इसके बाद स्पेरिला जो स्पाइरल शेप के, विवरियो जो कॉमा शेप के है. Though the bacterial structure is very simple, they are very complex in behavior compared to very many. उसका जो स्ट्रक्चर बहुत सिंपल है बैक्टीरिया का, पर उसका जो बिहेवियर है बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स है. compared to many other organism, bacteria as a group show the most extensive metabolic diversity. Some of the bacteria are autotrophic. They synthesize their own food from inorganic substrates. They may be photosynthetic autotrophic or chemosynthetic autotrophic. The vast majority of bacteria are heterotrophic. They depend on other organism or dead organic matter for food. Archaebacteria. These bacteria are special since they live in some of the most harsh habitats such as extreme salty area, halophiles, hot spring, thermoacidophiles and marshy area methanogen. Archaebacteria differ from the other bacteria in having different cell wall structure, and this feature is responsible for their survival in extreme conditions. Methanogen are present in the gut of several ruminant animals such as cows and buffaloes, and they are responsible for the production of methane biogas from the dung of this animal. Eubacteria. There are thousands of different eubacteria or true bacteria. They are characterized by the presence of a rigid cell wall and, if motile, a flagellum. The cyanobacteria, also referred to as blue-green algae, have chlorophyll A similar to green plant and are photosynthetic autotrophic. The cyanobacteria are unicellular, colonial or filamentous freshwater marine or terrestrial algae. The colonies are generally surrounded by gelatinous sheath. They often form blooms in polluted water bodies. Some of these organisms can fix atmospheric nitrogen in a specialized cell called heterocyst, nostoc and anabina. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria oxidize various inorganic substances such as nitrates, nitrites and ammonia and use the release energy for their ATP production. They play a great role in recycling nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, sulfur. Heterotrophic bacteria are most abundant in nature. The majority are important decomposers. Many of them have a significant impact on human affairs. They are helpful in making curd from milk, production of antibiotic, fixing nitrogen in legume roots, Some are pathogen causing damage to human being, crops, farm, animal and pets. Cholera, typhoid, tetanus, citrus, canker are well-known disease caused by different bacteria. Bacteria reproduce mainly by fish and sometimes under unfavorable conditions. They produce spore. They also reproduce by a sort of sexual reproduction by adopting a primitive type of DNA transfer from one bacteria to other. The mycoplasma are organisms that are completely The mycoplasma are organisms that completely lack a cell wall. They are the smallest living cell known and can survive without oxygen. Many mycoplasma are pathogenic in animals and plants. Kingdom Protista. All single cell eukaryotes are placed under Protista, but the boundaries of the kingdom are not well defined. What may be photosynthetic protista to one biologist may be a plant to another. In this book, we include chrysophyte, dinoflagellate, iglonoid, slime molds, and protozoan. Under Protista, members of Protista are primarily aquatic. This kingdom forms a link with the other dealing with a plant, animal and fungi. Being eukaryotes, the protistan cell body contain a well-defined nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Some have flagella or cilia. Protista reproduce asexually and sexually by process involving cell fusion and zygote formation. Chrysophyte. This group include diatom and golden algae desmid. They are found in freshwater as well as marine environment. They are microscopic and float passively in water current. Plankton. Most of them are photosynthetic. In diatom, the cell wall form two thin overlapping cells which fit together as in soap box. The wall are embedded with silica and thus the walls are indestructible. The wall are embedded with silica and thus the walls are indestructible. Thus diatom have left behind large amount of cell deposit in their habitat. The accumulation over billion of years is referred to as diatomeous earth. Being gritty, this soil is used in polishing, filtration of oil. Being gritty, the soil is used in polishing, filtration of oil and syrups. Diatom are the chief producer in the ocean. Dinoflagellate. These organisms are mostly marine and photosynthetic. They appear yellow, green, brown, blue, red depending on the main pigment present in their cell. The cell wall has stiff cellulosic plates on the outer surface. Most of them have two flagella. One lies longitudinally and other transversely in a furrow between the wall plate. Very often red dinoflagellate, example goniolax, undergo such rapid multiplication that they make sea appear red tides. Toxin released by such large number may even kill other marine animals such as fishes. Euglenoid. Majority of them are freshwater organisms found in stagnant water. Instead of a cell wall, they have a protein-rich layer called pellicle which makes their body flexible. They have two flagella, one a short and a long one. Though they are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight, when deprived of sunlight, they behave like heterotrophs by predating on other smaller organisms. Interestingly, the pigment of euglenoid are identical to those present in higher plant. Example, euglena. Slime mold. Slime mold are saprophytic protists. The body moves along decaying twigs and leaves engulfing organic material. Under suitable conditions, they form an aggregation called plasmodium which may grow and spread over several feet. During unfavorable conditions, the plasmodium differentiate and form fruiting bodies bearing spores and their tips. The spore poses true wall. They are extremely resistant and survive for many years. Even under adverse conditions, the spores are dispersed by air current. Protozoans. All protozoans are heterotrophs and live as predator or parasite. They are believed to be primitive relatives of animal. There are four major groups of protozoan. Amoeboid protozoan. These organisms live in freshwater, seawater or moist soil. They move and capture their prey by putting out pseudopodia, false feet, as in amoeba. Marine forms have silica cell on their surface. Some of them, such as int amoeba, are parasite. Flagellated protozoan. The member of this group are either free living or parasite. They have flagella. The parasitic form cause disease such as sleeping sickness. Example, trypanosoma. Ciliated protozoans. These are aquatic, actively moving organism. Because of the presence of thousands of cilia, they have a cavity gullet that open to the outside of the cell surface. The coordinated movement of rows of cilia cause the raw water laden with food to be steered into the gullet. Example, paramecium. Sporozoans. These include diverse organisms that have an infectious spore-like stage in their life cycle. The most notorious is Plasmodium malarial parasite, which causes malaria, a disease which has a staggering effect on human population. Kingdom fungi. तो अभी तक हम लोग क्या क्या पढ़े? किंगडम मोनेरा, किंगडम प्रोटिस्टा रीडिंग हो गया. अभी किंगडम फंगाई को पढ़ते हैं और ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. The fungi constitute a unique kingdom of heterotrophic organisms. They show a great diversity in morphology and habitat. You must have seen fungi on a moist bread and rotten fruits. The common mushroom you eat and toadstool are also fungi. White spots seen on mustard leaves are due to a parasitic fungus. Some unicellular fungi yeast are used to make bread and beer. Other fungi cause disease in plant and animal. Wheat rust causing Puccinia is an important example. Some are the source of antibiotic. Penicillium fungi are cosmopolitan. And occur in air, water, soil, and on animal and plant. They prefer to grow in warm and humid place. Have you ever wondered why we keep food in the refrigerator? Yes, it is to prevent food from going bad due to bacterial or fungal infection. With the exception of yeast, which are unicellular, fungi are filamentous. Their bodies consist of long, cylinder, thread-like structure called hyphae. The network of hyphae is known as mycelium. Some hyphae are continuous tube filled with multinucleated cytoplasm. These are called coinocytic hyphae. Some hyphae are continuous tube filled with multinucleated cytoplasm. These are called coinocytic hyphae. Others have septae or cross wall in their hyphae. The cell wall of fungi are composed of chitin and polysaccharide. The cell walls of fungi are composed of chitin and polysaccharide. Most of the fungi are heterotrophic and absorb soluble organic matter from dead substrates and hence are called saprophyte. Those that depend on living plant and animal are called parasite. They can also live by symbiont in association with algae is lichen with the root of higher plant mycorrhiza. Reproduction in fungi can take place by vegetative means, fragmentation, fission and budding. Asexual reproduction called conidia, sporangiospore, zoospores. And sexual reproduction is by oospores, ascospore, basidiospore. The various spores produce a distinct structure called fruiting bodies. The sexual cycle involved in the following three steps. Fusion of protoplasm between two motile or non-motile gamete called plasmogamy. Fusion of two nuclei called karyogamy. Meiosis in zygote resulting in haploid spores. When a fungus reproduces sexually, two haploid hyphae of compatible mating types come together and fuse in some fungi. The fusion of two haploid cells immediately results in a diploid cell 2N. However, in other fungi, Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes, an intervening dikaryotic stage N plus N, two nuclei per cell occur. Such a condition is called dikaryon and the phases is called dikaryophase of fungus. Later, the parental nuclei fuse and the cell become diploid. The fungi form fruiting bodies in which reduction division occur, leading to formation of haploid spore. The morphology of mycelium, mode of spore formation and fruiting bodies form the basis for the division of the kingdom into various classes. Phycomycetes. फंगाई की अलग अलग क्लास में डिवाइड किया गया, उसमें से फाइकोमाइसिटीज, एस्कोमाइसिटीज, बेसिडियोमाइसिटीज, ड्यूट्रोमाइसिटीज। तो चलो हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं फाइकोमाइसिटीज। मेंबर ऑफ फाइकोमाइसिटीज आर फाउंड इन एक्वेटिक हैबिटेट एंड वाइल्ड एंड वन decaying wood in moist and damp places or as obligate parasite on plant. The mycelium is aseptate and coinocytic. Asexual reproduction takes place by zoospores motile or by aplanospores non-motile. These spores are endogenously produced in sporangium. A zygospore is formed by fusion of two gametes. These gametes are similar in morphology, isogamous or dissimilar, anisogamous or oogamous. Some common examples are mucor, rhizopas, the bread mold mentioned earlier, and albugo, the parasitic fungi on master. Ascomycetes, commonly known as sac fungi. The ascomycetes are mostly multicellular, penicillium or rarely unicellular. Yeast, Saccharomyces. They are saprophytic, decomposers, parasitic or coprophilous growing on dung. Mycelium is branched and septate. The asexual spores are conidia produced exogenously on the special mycelium called conidiophore. Conidia on germination produce mycelium. Sexual spores are called ascospore, which are produced endogenously in sac like asci, singular ascus. These asci are arranged in different type of fruiting bodies called ascocarp. Some example are Aspergillus, claviceps, Neurospora. Neurospora is used extensively in biochemical and genetic work. Many members like morel and truffle are edible and are considered delicacies. Basidiomycetes, commonly known form of basidiomycetes are mushroom bracket fungi or puff balls. Commonly known form of basidiomycetes are mushroom bracket fungi or puff balls. They grow in soil, on logs and tree stump, and in living plant bodies as parasite. Rusts and smuts. The mycelium is branched and septate. The asexual spores are generally not found, but vegetative reproduction by fragmentation is common. The sex organs are absent, but plasmogamy is brought about by fusion of two vegetative or somatic cell. Plasmogamy is brought about by fusion of two vegetative or somatic cell of different strain or genotypes. The resultant structure is dikaryotic, which ultimately give rise to basidium. Karyogamy and meiosis take place in the basidium, producing 4 basidiospores. The basidiospores are exogenously produced on the basidium. The basidia are arranged in fruiting bodies called basidiocarps. Some common members are agaricus, mushroom, ustilago, smart, pussinio, rast fungus. Deuteromycetes, commonly known as imperfect fungi, because only the asexual or vegetative phase of this fungi are known. When the sexual form of this fungi are discovered, they are moved into classes they are rightly belong to. It is also possible that the asexual and vegetative stage have been given one name, placed under Deuteromycetes, and sexual stage another and placed under another class. Later, when the linkage or established, the fungi are correctly identified and move out of Deuteromycetes. On perfect sexual stage of the member of Deuteromycetes are discovered, they are often moved to Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes. The Deuteromycetes reproduce only by a sexual spore known as conidia. The mycelium is septate and branched. Some member are saprophytes or parasite, while a large number of them are decomposers of litter, help in mineral cycling. Some examples are Alternaria, Coletricum, trichoderma. Kingdom Plantae include all eukaryotic chlorophyll containing organisms commonly called plant. A few members are partially heterotrophic, such as the insectivorous plant or parasite. Bladderwort and Venus flytrap are example of the insectivorous plant. Bladderwort and Venus flytrap are the example of insectivorous plant, and Cuscuta is a parasite. The plant cell have an eukaryotic structure with prominent chloroplast and cell wall mainly made up of cellulose. You will study the eukaryotic cell structure in detail in chapter 8 Plantae, including algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperm. Life cycle of plant has two distinct phases, the diploid saprophytic and the haploid gametophytic, that alternate with each other. The length of the haploid and diploid phases and whether these phases are free living or dependent on others vary vary among different group in plant. This phenomena is called alternation of generation. You will study further detail of the kingdom in chapter 3. Kingdom Animalia. This kingdom is characterized by heterotrophic eukaryotic organism that are multicellular and their cell lack a cell wall. They directly or indirectly depend on plant for food. They digest their food in an internal cavity or store food reserve as glycogen or fat. Their mode of nutrition is holozoic. By ingestion of food, they follow a defined growth pattern and grow into adult that have a definite shape and size. Higher forms show elaborate sensory and neuromotor mechanism. Most of them are capable of locomotion. The sexual reproduction is by copulation of male and female followed by embryological development. Silent feature of various phyla are described in chapter 4. Viruses, viroid and prion and lichen. Viruses, viroids, prion and lichen. In the 5 kingdom classification of Whittaker, there is no mention of lichen and some acellular organism like viruses, viroid, prion. These are briefly introduced here. All of us who have suffered the ill effect of common cold or flu know what effect various can have on us, even if we do not associate it with our condition. Viruses did not find a place in classification since they are not considered true living. If we understand living as those organisms that have a cell structure, the viruses are non-cellular organisms that are characterized by having an inert crystalline structure outside the living cell. Once they infect a cell, they take over the machinery of the host cell to replicate themselves, killing the host. Would you call viruses living or non-living? Virus mean venom or poisonous fluid. Dmitry Avanovsky, 1892, recognized certain microbe as casual organism of the mosaic disease of tobacco. These are found to be smaller than bacteria because they pass through bacteria-proof filter. M.W. Vizhernik, 1898, demonstrated that the extract of the infected plant of tobacco could cause infection in healthy plant and named the new pathogen virus called the fluid as Contagium vivum fluidium, infectious living fluid. W.M. Stanley, 1935, showed that the viruses could be crystallized and crystal consist largely of protein. They are inert outside their specific host cell. Viruses are obligate parasite. In addition to protein, viruses also contain genetic material that could be either RNA or DNA. No virus contains both RNA and DNA. A virus is nucleoprotein and the genetic material is infectious. In general, viruses that infect plant have single-stranded RNA and viruses that infect animal have either single or double-stranded RNA or double-stranded DNA. Single or double-stranded RNA or double-stranded DNA. Bacteria viruses or bacteriophages, viruses that infect the bacteria, are usually double-stranded DNA virus. The protein coat called capsid, made up of a small subunit called capsomer, protect the nucleic acid. These capsomer are arranged in helical or polyhedral geometric form. Viruses cause disease like mumps, smallpox, herpes and influenza. AIDS in human is also caused by virus. In plant, the symptoms can be mosaic formation, leaf rolling and curling, yellowing and vein clearing, dwarfing and stunted growth. Viroids. In 1971, Theo Diener discovered a new infectious agent that was smaller than virus and caused potato spindle tuber disease. It was found to be free RNA. It lacked the protein coat that is found in viruses, hence the name viroid. The RNA of the viroid was of low molecular weight. Prion in modern medicine, certain infectious neurological diseases are found to be transmitted by an agent consisting of abnormally folded protein. The agent are similar in size to virus. मतलब प्रियन और वायरस का साइज जो है ना सिमिलर है. दिस एजेंट्स आर कॉल्ड प्रियन. द मोस्ट नोटेबल डिजीज कॉज्ड बाय प्रियन आर Bovine spongiform encephalopathy, commonly called mad cow disease in cattle, and in analogous variant, and CR Jacob disease, CJD in human. Lichen are symbiotic association, mutually useful association between algae and fungi. The algal component is known as phycobind, and fungal component is a component as mycobind, which are autotrophic and heterotrophic respectively. Algae prepare food for the fungi, and fungi provide shelter and absorb mineral, nutrient, and water for its partner. So close is their association that if one saw a lichen in nature, one would never imagine that they had two different organisms within them. Lichen are very good pollution indicator. They do not grow in polluted areas. Lichen are very good pollution indicator. They do not grow in polluted areas.